there's the obvious benefits of being able to produce a model that takes into account the different impacts. Historically, prior to doing this, we've done modelling in Excel and other products, and you're always trying to think about, well, what impact does school holidays have on A&E attendances, or what impact does the seasonality of events or bank holidays have on waiting list referrals and those kind of things. Being able to add those into the model and visualize those helps us to explain to the end user and the people who are buying into the system exactly where these impacts are coming in. It allows us to articulate them better and show them visually. It also has the advantage of being able to give those end users the ability to tweak the numbers as they're going through, up the number of clinics they're planning to run on a specific day in a specific week. That helps people to self-serve rather than coming back and relying on the analysts as heavily as they used to. Although we're there in an integral part of the process, it means that they can do small changes on their own, and we can allow them to do that in a very visual way. They can just turn a dial to up the number of clinics, or they could turn a dial another way to reduce the number of beds on a ward. It is a completely different way of thinking to what we're used to be doing, and actually that helps us to look at things in a new light and a new way and come up with different answers to the same questions that we are asked repeatedly.
The ability to be able to see how the current pathway works, and then it gives people the opportunity to stop and think about how things could be changed, and not necessarily any one person having the right idea. But I liked the workshops that we had because we went into smaller groups, and they were very broad smaller groups. So whereas you thought you had a process and you thought, oh, if you change this, it'll work, there was a lot of expertise in there kind of giving different real life experiences. So I think that really worked, and we also brought them together as a team. The model allows you to trial things. So you can say, if you do that and you turn the dial, what happens? So you're not doing it as a big one-off change and finding out it's a problem. And we're also using it within the system as a part of the basket of tools we've got. So we've got a quality improvement team who are currently on pause for vaccinations, but when they come back in, we'll be able to move on to the next stage. And BI engagement is really, really important, and ensuring it's part of their BAU. At the moment, we've got one trust that's not interested in pursuing this, so we've still got to do a lot of work post-pilot to say, these are the benefits, these are the skills that we can have, and we've got to make sure that we've got some in-house skills in transferring this, so that it's not just the 6 people we had originally, but eventually everybody learns how to do this. So I think there's a lot of things we're really hoping to get out of this, but ultimately it's going to be, how's the best way of being able to use our elective activity and elective capacity? Is it in the right places? We're looking at sort of the elective care hubs. Is that another model we now start looking at? Can we move patients out of the acute hospitals? So I think it's endless, the options we've got to do with this, especially on the elective recovery programme. It's quite exciting.
So the benefits of this work, one of the key benefits for me was the bringing together of all of the different teams and discussing what the issues were, and discovering that the issues weren't very different in the community to the acute sector. But the main benefit, I think, is that understanding of the different pathways, and actually thinking about, if you change X point in the pathway, what are the implications further down? Because what we're very good at in the community, in the acute sector, is saying, I'll put on an extra clinic here, without actually recognising the implications of that additional clinic on, say, radiology or theatres or therapies. And this modelling system allows you to play with it and do that. So for us, in a nutshell, it allows us to get together, communicate, understand the issues, predict the future modelling, and understand the impact of any changes that you make at any stage of the pathway. And that will help us plan acute services in the future. So, for example, we might want an elective centre. It also helps with commissioning and funding of those services.
I think the benefits of system dynamics are really quite clear, but just from a few key points. I think one of them from a BI perspective is it will really enhance collaboration and the skill development across the BI teams in the ICS. We're really looking to professionalise this really important role that we have across the system. We want to expand their skills, we want to professionalise them, and we want to invest in them. We really also want to make sure that they have tools which excite them and which give them new challenges. So that BI skill set is really important. We're also looking to bring our clinical and operational staff closer together to the BI teams as well. We don't want this to become a digitally led project. So what this allows us to do is start working really closely with clinical and operational teams from all the different providers and have really open conversations about what pathways look like, what support people need. And that's actually increasing the collaboration anyway. It's allowing people to come to the BI teams with very different questions and increasing that service provision. I think it's also allowing us to develop tools which allow for more evidence-based approach to decision making. We know that across the NHS, pressure is really high, and that means things become very reactive and less proactive. And then decisions are made on gut feel and high-level information only. What we need to do as an ICS is start to understand where is it we're trying to go. We need to model that, understand it, and really provide that evidence there. While the specialty level work that we've been doing is very interesting, it's quite niche. And so each model is very focused on a specific set of customers. And that's great because it does get you that buy-in, but it does mean that we are not probably helping the whole system as well as we could do. So we're now starting to expand as well to look at it as a wider strategic tool for areas such as UEC and D2A and more. And I think that, again, is starting to bring system dynamics into the system, and it is starting to become that tool. It means conversations are taking place about the harmonisation of pathways, about the location of impact of diagnostic assessment centres and community hubs. All kinds of conversations are coming on the back of this, and people are starting to see this as a tool that will really drive it forward. I think, in essence, system dynamics should really become the standard for strategic decision making across the ICS.
When we think about demand and capacity, do we think data? What does the BI function say, or what does the analyst say? Actually, no. What we try to do here, and what demands of system dynamics is really to explore the complex nature of the system. And actually, you don't start by looking at the data. You start to look at, well, how does the system work? And you ask questions of service managers, of system leaders, and of the clinicians. And I think that's the benefit. That's one of the key benefits in respects to system dynamics. It's the process demands that you have those conversations where other aspects of or approaches might not put you in there in that frame.